All right, so here's going to be our full overview. I like to write stuff down by hand, so just bear with me with the handwriting, but I'll be kind of talking about it all anyways. So with our weightlifting, we're going to be working on a split jerk, heavy single, or a 1 rep max. So the progression that we've got is that we're going to test in with our heavy single here. And then each week we are going to be accumulating singles. So like this is 12 singles with 80% of what your 1 rep max is, or the heavy single that you tested in. And then each week we're going to be increasing the load and we're going to be decreasing the reps. So these are all in singles. So you're going to do 1 rep and then put the bar back in the rack, and you will be using a rack for this. So this is kind of ballpark range. But you see 90 to 95%. So you're going to be able to kind of go up or down based on feel for that day, and all that will be laid out in your notes. With Olympic lifting, with the other Olympic lifts, the snatch and the clean, we're going to be doing a power plus full complex. When you do that, you're going to do a power clean, drop the bar, quick reset, and then do a full squat clean. Same thing with the snatch, power and full. So for 2 weeks for each of them, these are going to be alternating weeks, is we're going to build up to basically a relatively heavy complex, and then you're going to repeat that for 4 more sets. And we'll do that for 2 weeks of each lift, so that'll be a total of 4 weeks. And then we're going to transition into this EMOM, where you do an EMOM 6 of a power clean with a relatively heavy load, and then you EMOM 6, then you'll rest 2 minutes and do another EMOM 6 with the full squat cleans. And we'll do that for 2 weeks of each lift. So it's just getting exposure with lifting a much higher percentages on a continual basis and getting a lot of confidence built with the heavier loads, which is a skill in itself. For our strength portions, we're gonna be working on our back squat. So we're gonna be testing in a 1 rep or a 1 at 9, and then our whole goal is to improve your top end strength of back squatting. So we'll test in with this 1 at 9, and then we're going to be using that number that we do tomorrow, actually on Monday. We're going to be using that number and taking percentages based off that. So we'll be doing 80% of your 1 at 9 RPE load for 4 sets of 3 reps. And then the next week, we're going to do 5 sets of 3 reps, and then we'll increase the load up to 85, and then go to doubles here, and then we'll do that for 2 weeks, and then we'll go to singles, and then we'll retest the 1 rep. So that's going to be a really cool progression for our back squat. I think you guys are going to see a lot of progress with that, just getting exposure continually to those heavy loads and with pretty few reps. With that, I'm going to be plugging in a bunch of accessory strength movements like glute ham raises, which are crazy hard. I'll have some good videos up on that for you. No shit, I couldn't do a single glute ham raise all the way up until maybe like 2016 or something, which is like my first year of the games. So like I was supposed to be relatively good at CrossFit and couldn't do a single one of those. So those are crazy hard, and I feel like they're a very, very helpful movement to build your posterior strength, and especially in the hamstrings. So we'll definitely be doing a lot of work with that and easing into them. And then we'll be doing lots of pressing accessory and pulling accessory with, bench press and half kneeling press and all sorts of other variations for pushing and pulling. In our gymnastics, we're going to be doing some skill work. So this is going to be very high skill work. So it's high skill, can spell, and low volume. So when we do these pieces, it's going to be a 10-minute, when we see these accumulation pieces, it's going to be a 10-minute volume accumulation is what I have started out with. And you're going to choose your most advanced version. It could be any one of these guys. And you're going to do some basically 10 minutes of skill work or accumulating a low amount of reps of that really advanced variation for you. A lot of people, though, are going to be in this boat. Okay, so a lot of people can do chest to bar, but aren't to the point of doing bar muscle-ups or ring muscle-ups yet. In that case, we're going to be doing lots of transitional drills. So whether that's a floor-supported muscle-up turnover drill or a jumping muscle-up or muscle-up negatives, all sorts of stuff that I'll have laid out there for you guys that are kind of in the in-between of these guys right here. So I think that's going to be a really cool and productive pulling skill session. The next thing that we're going to be doing is lots of Tabata for core work. So this is like, I think on Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, one day this week, you guys have something coming up where you have 2 Tabatas back to back of some body weight core movements, whether that's hollow rocks, V-ups, flutter kicks, whatever. And you guys are going to do a Tabata, rest a couple minutes, and do another one. So that's going to be actually super hard. I'm really excited for this piece. I think this is going to be surprising, and we'll get lots of core work in a short amount of time in. Kind of in the same vein of the body weight stuff is we're going to be doing once a week some plyometric work, working on your explosive jumping power. So, and also your ability to resist that from the ground. So to be able to recreate that force very fast and change direction. So lots of rebounding work and box jumps like from the seated position and something of that nature. So you guys can expect to see a lot of this coming. A lot of that will be on Thursdays. And here's going to be the real fun. So this is the shit that you guys really can't miss. So even if you don't want to do this, show up on these days. I have this built in to where this is not going to be a Thursday. The running or the rowing is going to be on a normal weekday. So I know our Thursdays are a little bit different for us. So this guy, I really want everyone to run if possible. Okay. So if there's some of you guys who just flat out refuse, will not run, that sucks, but I get it. You guys will row, or if you have some sort of physical limitation like your knee or your ankle or your foot or something like that doesn't like running, then definitely we'll go for the row. So it'll either be a 2-mile run or a 4K row, and we're going to test in with that, and then we're going to build, this is a built-out progression of how we're going to improve. So week 1, we're going to do 4 rounds of basically a quarter of the distance with a minute rest, and we're going to try to maintain a pace that is just slightly faster than your test end pace. So you're going to have all that information after week 1, and then we kind of know the pace that you're running with. So those of you guys who are choosing to run, if you do not have any sort of tracking device, you can just download Map My Run from the App Store on your phone, and that's a really super simple, free way that you guys can track the pace in which you're running and make sure you're running the correct distance. Just because so many of us are running at gyms where we always have the predetermined run route, and it's not always necessarily on. So make sure that you're running the correct distance. Download some sort of run tracking device. Now, as we go through this, we're going to increase the rounds of which we're doing these 800-meter runs all the way up to about to the 6th round mark. Then we're going to change gears a little bit, and we're going to do this piece here where we're doing 2 rounds through of the 1,200-meter run, rest, 800 rest, 400 rest, or you have your row distances as well. And you'll do that for 2 rounds, and we're going to do that for 2 weeks. Then we'll have 1 week where you have a half distance, so the 1 mile or the 2K, rest a couple minutes, and repeat. So you're building your tolerance to hold that pace or faster for even a longer amount of time throughout this progression. And then we're going to retest here. And I can almost guarantee you that if you put in the work during this progression, you'll PR that 2 mile or 4K. Additionally, with your aerobic work, this is actually going to be on Thursdays, is you guys are going to have some low intensity machine work. So this is supposed to be low impact work since we're going to be doing quite a bit of running every week. I'd like you guys to stay away from run on these pieces. So if you can bike, row, ski, swim, or even like if you have a mountain bike or something laying around your house, use that thing and strap on a heart rate monitor. The best thing that you can do is just go on to Amazon and Polar makes some pretty cheap chest straps, and you definitely want the chest strap. I think you can get them for roughly $70 to $100. And if you guys can't quite make that work yet financially, definitely go on to our Instagram and click on the Cowboy Way Athlete Instagram and click the link in bio, and then choose in that link tree. There's going to be an athlete request form, and in there you guys can kind of request what you need help with. And obviously right now, coming off of the coronavirus shutdown and all that jazz, money's not flowing too much, but that's part of our business model, is to be able to bring that money back to you guys and help you guys out with stuff that you may need. So if you need something, definitely do this. I don't know why I did 2 arrows there. Now, coming into our Metcon, our final thing that we'll talk about is we're going to be doing one long CrossFit style Metcon per week. So somewhere in the 20 to 30 minute time domain. And this will be more of like kind of a classic CrossFit style workout, like a hard AMRAP or a long chipper, something that takes you somewhere between 20 and 30 movements. These will typically be pretty high gears for these longer workouts. So it's going to be like kind of additional high volume and aerobic work here. And then in our other Metcons, I'm going to be implementing a lot of relatively heavy Olympic lifting in your Metcons, because we're not going to be doing a crazy amount of that in our class work or the base work. So we will have the Olympic lifting here of the cleans and the snatches once a week, but I want to get some exposure to having some relatively heavy lifts in actual Metcons here. So that's our main focus here, you guys. I think it's going to be a super productive block. So let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, and I look forward to seeing how this all shakes out.